Hello and welcome to the Kobold Cafe. I'm Colin. I will be tonight's GM. It's Thursday night, and that means it's Star Trek Adventures Pathfinder. Joining us tonight from... Oh, I don't know what order I'm going in. Bottom of the list in Discord. We have Tom.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tom. I play Commander Vivek the Engineer.
And Tara.
Hello, I am Tara. I am sick, and I play Captain Demore. So, yeah. But if you hear me coughing and obsessively, I'll try to mute myself when I can. But that's why.
And James.
Hey, I'm James. I play Commander Tanjat, second in command.
Tanjat.
And Everoth.
Hello, I play Lieutenant Commander Eversol, your medical expert on board.
And Daniel.
I'm Daniel. I play Tesora, your ensign. I've got the cleanest EPS conduits this side of the wormhole.
Yay, we do.
I mean, at this point, you're probably on a bridge more often than not, but you're still getting...
I think I'm still grounded.
Yeah, you were super still grounded.
No phone.
All right, so I'm gonna do something slightly different tonight, and you guys will see as we get into it. It's also a little bit of an experiment, so we'll see how well this works for possible future use. But we're going to start with sort of a straight narrative scene. So I'm going to sort of narrate it as if we were watching it in a TV series. So as the scene opens, we see just sort of like a hand splayed out on a red sandy ground. The hand is sort of desiccated with chunks of skin either gone or sloughed off that allows you to see the bones inside. The camera sort of pans back, and we see that it's an entire corpse, wearing sort of the black trademark uniform of the Cardassian military. You would not be able to tell it was a Cardassian from looking at it, though, because the skull sort of, most of the scales and skin have shed away from the bone, which exposes the teeth and one eye socket, giving it a grotesque sort of grin. The camera continues to pan back, and we see that it is not the only body, that there are, in fact, several. Panning back even farther, we see that this is just one part of a fairly large city with a military like a landing facility with hardened bunkers and a single Gaylor class starship landed in the middle of it. After pulling out that far, the camera sort of pans towards the military base and starts zooming in. We see, the whole city is littered with bodies, and not all of them are in the Cardassian uniform. Several of them are in the purples and browns that Cardassian civilians seem to prefer. But there is no movement at all in this city. As we zoom in towards the military base, the lone figure there has his back to the camera. He's holding a phaser pistol in one hand, and as the camera comes up and flies over his left shoulder and spins around, we see that it is a younger version of Tanjat Jaws, the ship's first officer. He is alive, and his expression is unreadable. And I think that's when we cut. So, Daniel, do you want to go ahead with the opening log?
Yes. I don't know the star date.
Oh,
So,
I never gave you the
and
star date.
you-
I am so sorry.
It's a star date, though.
It is a star date.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Sounds like the code on some idiot's luggage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta go change the combination of my luggage.
Oh man, what is the star date? Sorry,
You
I
can
have
just read it without star date.
Yeah, you just go ahead and read it without the star date.
Science of Ensign's log, I guess. Stardate, whatever. The Percival is returning to Maganda, the resort planet where we found ourselves boarded by Dvork and his Nausicaan mercenaries. Their diplomatic office reached out to Starfleet, claiming they have a high-profile criminal in their custody. No details clarifying their identity, which is disconcerting considering we recently had a wanted criminal escape from our holding cells. The victory against the Rapu Consortium has the crew in high spirits, yet I keep picturing Captain Demore's eyes burning with indignant fury as she contemplated the possibility of sending 200 civilians to their deaths. I want to believe that Starfleet can be trusted to do the right thing even when we're up against the wall, but I know the Dominion War has left its mark on all of us. I recognize that it is unfair for me to hold Demore solely responsible for my trepidation, so instead I find myself reflecting on my final days with the Vulcan Expeditionary Group. I served under Captain Kalovar, the ever-logical patriot who surrendered to the Borg and, through sheer fortune, wound up surviving to earn a dozen commendations. Faced with a choice between shutting down our ship mid-combat to wipe all the classified data from the computer banks before capture, or attempting a dangerous escape through hostile Klingon territory, the sensible captain calculated that indeed, survival was unlikely and resistance was futile. I and a few others protested. Funny how it was only after he set the crew's dissenters adrift in a shuttle with no navigational data in an uncharted sector that the Klingons showed up out of nowhere and allowed him to escape in the confusion of the crossfire. Like Demore, Kalavar had to make hundreds of life-or-death decisions whose consequences were inconceivable in scope. Kalavar would not have taken that last shot at the Homai's engines, but I also refused to believe that Tonjot was certain he could pull it off safely. No, time after time it seems it is the arbitrary happenstances and strokes of dumb luck that determine who comes out a hero and who is branded villainous. A spin of the wheel, a flip of the coin, a toss of the dice. So then, what use is the worship of logic, when even a simple choice is fraught with a nebula of incomprehensibly complex probabilities? Logic is not a god, and gods are hardly logical. No, I know the real reason Kalovar made the choice he did. In eternal life, within the singularity of the Borg, there was the seduction of ultimate certainty. And what does a Vulcan truly fear more than the unknowable? I cannot be afraid. Yet, after the disappearance of Bezor and other recent events, it is the proverbial fear itself that threatens us most. I suppose I'll just have to do my best not to let it show.
Okay, so the Percival is entering the Maganda system. You guys have been here before. It's the resort planet. As you come into range, the first thing that you guys notice is that there are a pair of Cardassian Galler-class ships in orbit around the planet.
Eyebrow raised.
Are there supposed to be?
Are there supposed to be?
I feel like when we see Cardassian ships, Tanjot is immediately getting ready to like go to war.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
just out of habit.
okay.
Just like certain feelings from. Yeah.
So when the Dominion War ended, or I guess even before the Dominion War itself ended, the Cardassian government was basically pushed to the bottom of the Dominion that they had pledged allegiance to, like the first Alpha Quadrant race to do so. And over time, they sort of realized that they had made a mistake. When one of their leaders tried to lead a revolt, it was brutally put down. And in order to try and, prevent Cardassians from attempting that sort of thing again, the Jem'Hadar commander in charge of the area of space that included Cardassia actually had his ships destroy an entire Cardassian city from orbit, which of course had the exact opposite effect. And the Cardassian civilians and remaining military were able to drive the Dominion off of their planet and change sides for the third time in the war to sort of rejoin the Romulans, Klingons, and Federation against the Dominion. And that was also sort of the beginning of the end. Since the war, the government has sort of rebuilt itself around a civilian council instead of a single military dictator in Gul Dukat, or before that it was really the Obsidian Order that sort of ran everything. There is a handful of treaties in place that regulate the same way that, like, the Romulans at this point are not enemies, or the Klingons at the beginning of the Next Generation series. So they are old adversaries, but they are not outright hostile.
Okay.
And I sit there with my lamb chop mush.
Oh God.
It's very tasty heated. I drink it like coffee now. And I'm trying different flavors.
All right.
Just sitting there on the bridge, just kind of like not excited about talking. Hopefully we don't have to talk to them because we did not part on the best of terms. Me and
Yes.
the
Tesora is trying not to let it show that for some reason lately, especially after the trial, meat has started to smell more appetizing to her for rather disturbing reasons.
All right. I mean, it's entirely possible that the Cardassians are here for shore leave, as this is the sort of planet that lots of races like to take shore leave on.
yeah.
I mean, that's not why they're here, but it's plausible.
Science officer Eversole, please patch us down to the authorities on planet.
Right away, Captain. Is that a sensors check?
You don't even need to make a check. Yeah, you guys open hailing frequencies, and some functionary manages to like divert your call to the proper location. It is the I guess their version of the State Department. We'll call it the like outreach ministry or something. Yes, my name is Lord. So many tabs.
So it's the OMOS.
Sure.
Lord Somnitab.
Outreach Ministry or something.
Korvat. Madeline Korvat. I am. Let me first welcome you to Maganda. Hopefully, you and your crew will have a chance to enjoy the planet while you're here.
Well, we have been here before, so we have had the time to experience your lovely planet.
Oh, excellent. I'm so happy. This is somewhat awkward, but there's been a double booking. We reached out because we detained somebody who your government has sent out a post requesting as a prisoner. He's on your most wanted list. Oh man, where is his name? Doesn't matter for the moment. Unfortunately, the arresting authorities sent a communication to the Cardassians that we were not aware of, because this individual has also been He also has an extradition request for him for the Cardassians as well.
Lovely. So, I assume he is still in, or this individual is still in your custody?
He is. We didn't want to hand him over to the Cardassians without the two of you being able to come to some sort of agreement.
All right. Thank you for this information. I believe, are you going to administer communications between the two, or liaise between us and the Cardassians, or is this our torch to bear?
He is our prisoner, so it only seems fair that we host these talks. The commander of the Cardassian ships, Gul Rual, is already apprised of the situation and has stated that he is willing to speak with you in a conference room here at the Ministry.
All right. Thank you for your time. I will be speaking with you again soon. Looks like in person.
I'll see you soon.
Look around and just kind of sigh. Eye Tanjot and kind of just say, well, I think we're going to be breaking protocol again on this one, Tanjot, because I would like you to be on this team with me. What was the guy who we really pissed off's name?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
The one on our ship.
The science officer?
Oh, the old science. Yeah, right. What did we name him? I don't even remember.
Was it Van Gardner?
Yeah, it was. It was Van Gardner.
Okay.
I'll beep down to wherever he is currently pissing away, and I'll go, Van Gardner to the bridge. You will be taking command of the ship while an away mission is taking place.
I
look at you with sad puppy eyes.
Oh.
Vivek, Tanjot, the entire crew that's going down is surprise, the main cast.
Okay.
I breathe a sigh of relief.
I wonder how this looks to the crew. Hey, we're not here for fun, but this is like the best planet for 10,000 light years, and all of the main officers are beaming down to the surface. You guys stay here.
I didn't get to go. I haven't gone to the beach.
Also, I will instruct Van Gardner to have short leave. You know, they have, during our time here, they may go down to the planet.
Cycle the crew through the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling Van Gardner, like, send people down for shore leave as you see fit, and he's the one who doesn't see fit to send anyone down.
Or just let them go down when they're not on duty.
Yeah, that's
he's
what I
gonna
was.
keep them on duty.
Then I'll give him a duty roster and be like, keep to this.
But yes, I will let him know that they are free to do it, but we may be leaving at any moment. So the crew has to have their comm channels active at all times.
That's fair.
Or, you know, but they will. If they're not on duty, they can head down.
All right. So you guys head to the transporter room and beam down to the coordinates that are, you know, sort of fed up to you guys. The minister is there. What did I call her?
Something.
Madeline.
Albright.
No.
Cravat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cravat.
It's a fashion accessory. I know that.
Not cravat. Corvat. She's there along with two Cardassians. They don't really have rank insignia that I remember on their
They do
uniforms,
not.
but it's pretty easy to notice which one is the gull and which one is just some flunky that is standing behind him. He stands up and he's like, Captain Demore, we haven't had the pleasure, but I am Gull Rual. This is Glyn Ayet, and we are here to discuss the extradition of Taurus Quinn. So Taurus Quinn, the name is probably familiar to several of you, only because this is one of the few remaining Maquis that people know by the name. He was a sort of like a second or third level cell leader during the Dominion War. One of the few that were not wiped out wholeheartedly when the Cardassians joined the Dominion. He's basically accused of, all of the things that the Maquis did pretty brazenly, and that's attacking Cardassians, attacking traders that were suspected of smuggling weapons in the demilitarized zone. They did commit attacks against the Federation towards the end. They were pirates with a cause, right? They wanted their the land that had been sort of given up from the Federation to the Cardassians after a 2-decade-long war.
Barely traded
Yeah.
land.
It was a matter of dispute, some dispute. Anyway, so the Federation has warrants out for him as a Maquis leader, basically charged with terrorism and a few other things. Tanjot, obviously, he means a little bit more to you as you've met him in person.
Okay, so he says that name, and Tanjot's eyes probably glaze over, and Tanjot looks a little.
Not
Maybe the
Kurt.
captain. Maybe the captain would see it. Tanjot looks
Oh, I'm
maybe
not
a
looking.
little. Oh, yeah.
I'm not looking at you. I was about to say, not seeing him, I go, pleasure to meet you. What is it? Gold Guar?
Rual.
Grawl. This is my second in command, Commander Tanjot. And
Can I ask a question? What's
Yes?
their reaction when the Cardassian captain points at the Bajoran and says, "This is my second in command"?
Did she state your name?
yes,
The Glyn looks shocked. The Gull looks, he kind of looks at you and then immediately dismisses you as somebody who doesn't matter.
Are these titles?
Okay.
Yeah.
Glenn and Gull.
Yeah.
Gull is like captain.
Gull is a captain of the Cardassian species.
Yes.
Okay, so Gull is a captain. Glyn is what, a lieutenant of some kind?
Like a commander or maybe a lieutenant commander.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's a third person.
Yeah, the
Is
administrator.
The actual.
Prison.
Oh,
and
okay.
then the
so-
prisoner.
Oh, okay, right. Who's the prisoner? What's his name?
You haven't met him yet, but the prisoner is Taurus Quinn,
Quinn.
a human.
Taurus Quinn. Okay. Oh, human. Okay.
And I look forward to working with you during these negotiations and extradition proceedings.
The Glyn leans forward and whispers something in the Gull's ear. And then so the gull leans forward and says, "Okay, so um what crimes, or I guess under what statutes does the Federation have a extradition request in for Mr. Quinn?"
Crimes against the Federation and breaking of Cardassian and Federation treaty, along with, and I'll list off the crimes from the data pad that I have in front of me.
In the Cardassian Union, Mr. Quinn is wanted on charges of war crimes for the use of a chemical weapon on a Cardassian planet.
I think Tanjot might actually be looking down at the floor at this point.
Noted. So it seems we both have. I'm drawing a blank on the word. Credible. Reasons to be extraditing this individual.
I would argue that the crimes that he has committed in the Cardassian Union are far more serious than the crimes that you have accused him of, and I would prefer that we have the extradition for the major crime first.
And we will be discussing this during our time together. I don't think the hallway is the appropriate, or the transporter area is the appropriate area to discuss such things, Golral.
He kind of... I feel like he dismisses you too, but not in a rude way. He is now focused on Tanjot as well. And he's like, I'm sorry. What did you say your name was, Commander?
I guess I look up and kind of. Tanjot is visibly angry right now, and he kind of through gritted teeth, Tanjot jaws.
Would that be the same Tanjot Jaws that served in the Federation and Bajoran militia during the Dominion War?
The one and only. Galral.
He looks at his Glyn and sort of nods, and 4 or 5 more Cardassians materialize in the transporters with weapons.
All right, as soon as that happens, are they pointed up?
They're not menacing you, but they are at the ready.
Are we
Okay.
all there?
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
the
yeah.
rest of the crew there?
Yes.
As well? Okay, this is not a private negotiation.
No.
Okay. All right, keep going. I just wanted to make sure.
My hand goes on to my holster. Not pulling it out, but it goes to the holster and say, "What is the meaning of this, Golral?"
Captain, I regret to inform you that your first officer is accused of the same crime as Mr. Quinn. And under the treaty, the Federation Cardassian Treaty, I am placing him under arrest.
This current juncture, this is unacceptable, as we have not put in a formal request, nor have you sent any of the appropriate paperwork. At this time, we will now
Tanjot puts his hand on your shoulder, and he doesn't say anything, and he just walks over to the Gaul.
I am going to actually physically grab your arm We will currently, if and I'm gonna hold on to it, and we will currently place him in the brig while these charges are being processed. But as of the treaty protocol, we cannot and will not allow you at this junction to take our first officer off of our ship, or at this time. Once the effective paperwork has been submitted and our government has accepted said paperwork, he will not be turned over to the Cardassian Union.
Commander, I
And
need your word.
I'm gonna roll also.
What are you rolling?
Diplomacy, or command. What would this be? Presence? Diplomacy?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to. I guess, okay.
I think she's trying to convince this guy to let her hold Tanjat
Yeah.
instead of them.
Do I
Okay.
need to roll?
So
Or was that a persuasive argument enough?
his rebuttal is that he wants your word that you will not leave orbit of the planet until this has been resolved between respective governments.
Most definitely. Unless there is an emergency situation, such as an attack or something similar, as Starfleet protocol allows. Otherwise, my attention is solely focused on this endeavor.
Okay, so then let's do an opposed roll, because I think he's going to argue for having Tanjat remanded on the planet. Because
Okay.
I mean, in his position, you wouldn't trust.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I get it.
But that's how negotiation works, you know? You go for one extreme after they offer one, and then you find a middle ground.
Here is the roll. So this is opposed 15-4.
Oh, baby.
3.
Oh.
He also got 3. You know what then? For a tie, I think Minister Cravat steps in. And she's like, Captain Gull, as you know, Maganda wants to be a destination for all species, so we really regret being in this position. Instead of remanding Mr. Tanjat to either of your control, let him stay in a hotel room here in the city with, you know, a Magandan security detail. And in return, we will offer both of your ships, or I guess both ships both of your crews, because the Gull has 2 ships. You know, relaxation and all of our amenities while the 2 of you negotiate.
I will accept with one caveat that 2 of my security officers are allowed to be here with your security crew during the guarding process.
The Gull looks at her and says, I want 2 of my men there as well.
I find this deal acceptable.
Very well, Captain. And he nods. And he's like, Mr. Tanjat, I am formally notifying you of the charges against you. You are accused of violations of, well, God, it's not the Geneva Convention, but you know, it's the Kittimer Accords, isn't it?
Yeah, Kittimer Accords.
You were accused of not accused. You have Oh God, how would he phrase it?
I mean, charged. Like,
Yeah, okay. I guess we'll say charged. You were charged with the use or breach of the Kinnemere Accords and the use of chemical weapons in an attack on the Cardassian outpost of Tugog Bik on, and he lists off a star date that you guys would notice is towards the middle of the Dominion War.
oh, not the occupation. Okay.
All right.
And I will let him go once the others arms go when this other security officers arrive to take him away.
Yeah, so the Magandans sort of step up. They don't handcuff him, but they do like physically put their hands on him. Tanjat, do you say or do anything as they lead you away?
I actually think that Tanjat is uncharacteristically very quiet and very amenable.
Okay, so we're gonna end that scene.
Oh no! I'm immediately turning around to my crew once they split off, and I'm gonna go to Sora and Vivek. I need you to figure out what the hell is going on here. Immediately dive into the archives and start getting this information. I need to be able to stop this from happening.
Can do.
Tesora just nods.
Eversol, you're currently needed to check up on our other prisoner.
Yes, Captain.
And I will stay here on planet and communicate with Starfleet Command as soon as possible.
Oh, I have a question.
Please.
Are we allowed to communicate with Tanjat?
Sure.
Okay.
But the Cardassians will probably be listening in.
Is there a way that we could not have that happen?
Oh yeah.
Like, if I could do something in the moment to prevent that from happening, I'd be willing to use a determination to specify that, in the moment right before they take Tanjat away, I maybe hand him like some kind of secret way to communicate to us, or I mean, like.
Oh no, I have an idea, Daniel. You know,
What's your idea?
something similar, but I'm not going to use it until we need it.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna go back a little bit. The year is 2373. Where is that tracker? Okay. Yeah, the year is 2373. Right now, Deep Space Nine is in the hands of the Dominion and their Cardassian allies. Bajor, the planet that Deep Space Nine is in the same system as and was formerly in orbit over, is they've actually signed a non-aggression pact with the Dominion to try and stay out of the fighting and to try and avoid the horrors of the last time that their planet was occupied by an invading force. The entrance to the wormhole has been mined by the Federation before Deep Space Nine was taken by the Dominion. So the Dominion are currently not able to bring their large amounts of material and ships through from the Gamma Quadrant. So the Alpha Quadrant Dominion is effectively cut off from everything except communication from the Gamma Quadrant. We are on the eve of something that will be known as Operation Return. This is when a large combined fleet of Federation and Klingon ships will engage a Dominion fleet of much larger numbers in an attempt to retake Deep Space Nine before the Dominion figure out how to disarm or deactivate the minefield. That is all a couple of sectors away. We are on a planet that I didn't ever really name because it doesn't really matter. But we are on a planet that is sort of on the outskirts of Cardassian territory. It is a staging ground for the Cardassian military, and as such, it has a fairly large depot of weapons and other material that sort of feed the ships and men that are making up the war effort against the Federation. Tanjat Jaws and his team of Bajoran special operations, they may as well be a terrorist cell. They're organized in a similar way as during the occupation, but they are a little bit more tightly affiliated with official military at this point. Tanjat carries the rank of, what do you think, Kyle or James? Major? Captain?
Yeah, probably more like lieutenant.
Lieutenant? Okay, that's fair. So he holds
Like
the rank of lieutenant.
Like, high enough that he commands something, low enough that he's actually in the field.
That's fair. So he commands this group of soldiers in difficult missions. So they are currently on a Uridan trader that is about to land on this Cardassian planet. Uridians are well, they tend to be information brokers. They're not part of the Federation or any other group. They kind of look like humanoid mole rats. They can't really be trusted, but they can be bought, and that's what's happened in this case. They're traders and information brokers, so they do a pretty brisk trade. They are welcome in Cardassian territory, and Tanjat's team has bartered passage on here and are about to beam down to the surface as it's landing into the deserts outside of the city. The plan is this: they are to infiltrate the supply depot and secure as much material and weapons as possible to help arm resistance members on Bajor and Deep Space Nine to help in the fight against the Dominion when Operation Return happens within the next couple of weeks. Whatever they can't take, they are supposed to destroy, obviously to prevent the Cardassians and Dominion from being able to use the same supplies. So they beam down onto the planet, and we sort of see each of these characters in turn.
Question.
Sure.
Extraction plan.
So there's plan A and there's plan B, right? So plan A is you will beam back up into the same Uridian ship with the material. You have a like a beacon that you're supposed to activate that'll let them know to beam you and whatever material you've recovered up to the ship. However, you cannot do that from inside of the city. Because of the anti-beaming sensor nets and other technological reasons.
Okay.
The other extraction plan is if you're not heard from, or if the Uridian leaves before you complete your mission, then a major in the Bajoran military, who's also obviously a sort of like a Federation sympathizer, or I guess not sympathizer, but who is in the Resistance, will be taking a ship, like a small bigger than a shuttle, smaller than a full-size starship, something in the roundabout
A runabout.
runabout range. Yeah,
It's basically a runabout.
yeah. In fact, it would be a runabout. But
Okay.
would pick you up. Would travel there. It is much more risky for them, but it's sort of like it's the backup plan, and
Okay.
that'll happen in a couple of days. All right, so we see Tanjot. Obviously, we notice he's the team leader. He's armed with a Type 2 phaser and a phaser rifle, I believe. Yes. His team includes Esri and Fen, and remember that in Bajoran, the last name or the family name is first, and the given name is second. So Fen is female. She's lithe. She carries a large blade on her back, and she's dressed in sort of like a tighter clothing. Fen's job is to be the stealthy one. She's sort of she's a ninja. She specializes in the use of a blade, although she does carry a Type 1 phaser as well. There is Bill Zay. Zay is a weapons specialist. I'd say sniper, but he will also, shoot on the move. He uses a older style Andorian plasma rifle that has pretty destructive, physical hit instead of just the energy that comes along with a phaser or a disruptor. Nobody really knows where he got it, but he takes crazy good care of it. We have Bellari Kori, who is a combat engineer who specializes in sabotage and explosive. He has a what do you call it? Bandolier of grenades wrapped around his body, and he carries a disruptor pistol that he took from a dead Cardassian that he killed on their first mission together.
You gonna post these?
Yeah. And then we have Ines Moore. Moore is the team's medic, but he also he doesn't necessarily focus on the medicine. He also he's synthesized poisons for the group before, and sleeping gases, and so he also kind of handles science operations. Moore also has a pet Paluku, which is a dog-sized four-legged spider that lives in the asteroids in the Bajoran system that have atmosphere. Most Bajorans, especially during the occupation, when they were hiding out in these tunnels on the asteroids, would actually kill and eat the Paluku. But Moore has trained this one, and it actually, follows him around and obeys basic commands. So I am going to post these. Commander Vivek, or Tom, why don't you bring up that one for Bill Zay?
Okay.
Bellari Kori is the combat engineer. Tara, why don't you bring up Kori there?
It's like
I'm sorry, I was using the restroom at the moment. She's female, right?
No, you know what? She's not. Fen is female. I'm sorry. Kori just sounds such a female name. So you take Fen. Fen is the ninja and sort of the close-up or wet work specialist.
Okay.
So then Eversoul. You know what, Daniel? Why don't you take Kori, so
Okay.
Eversoul can have the medic again with the pet four-legged spider, which I actually have a picture of. That's The second Paluku is the picture of what they look like. That's taken right from an episode of Deep Space Nine. It is the clearest picture I could find of one. Yeah, they're fairly large.
It's funny looking back at some of these old screenshots and stuff because we're so used to this new such sharp and like production heavy Star Trek.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's just like you watch the old ones and you're like, wow, their budget was not super good.
They did pretty well considering.
Yeah, but it's just like I see that Paluku and it's just like that is literally fuzz that you get at a fabric store covered in coat hangers.
Yes.
Or coat hanger covered in fuzz.
Yes. All right. So your team beams down to this sort of red sandy desert. Picture like Canyonlands with a lot of curving and arched rocks. You've got a several kilometer hike across the desert until you get to the outskirts of the city. At which point you will need to make your way through the city and into the Cardassian weapons depot.
Is Tanjat the highest ranking person of this group?
Yes, Tanjat is the commander of this group.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we hit ground, and Tanjat makes a jovial little joke about a big ass hike, and everybody get two.
Yes, sir.
So,
Time's not on our side.
I think I'm gonna scout a little ahead just in case there are any spoonhead surprises along our way.
It was a given.
She kind of smiles and goes, all right, keep the comm chatter low. We don't want anyone, murdering us.
What kind of amateurs do you think we are? I picked you because you're the best.
I think we'll be doing the murdering around here.
I don't know. Who's the one that got caught by
Cut
a...
the chatter. Let's go.
She rolls her eyes and then disappears. I'll roll it! What would this be? Fitness?
are you rolling
Security?
stealth?
Stealth.
Control security.
Control security. Okay, so this is a 15-4. I don't know what the challenge rating is, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
that's 3.
as the group's scout, you are, several hundred meters ahead of them. So when you come over the low rise and you see the sensor platform, you're able to sort of take stock of the situation before everybody comes up. So you've seen these sensor platforms on other Cardassian planets before. Basically, it's kind of like a fence, except, instead of a physical barrier, it's like a buoy or a post that gets planted in the ground and will detect life signs that pass within 10 or 20 meters of it, but they're strung along, so of course there's slight overlap. So you would either have to find a way to shut it down, spoof your life signs, or find some other way of not triggering it. The other option is, of course, that you can trigger it, which would send a patrol, but if you can make them think that it was something else, then you could actually use that to your advantage in the future.
Oh, I've got a special idea for this.
As you so I relay this information back, I assume, when they
Yeah.
arrive, and that's okay. We're having the conversation now. Cool. What is your special idea?
Let me see that Paluku. And what I want to try to do is broadcast a field that maybe just covers our party's radius, that makes it just look like mimics the Paluku's life signs and makes it look like it's just 4 Palukus skittering across the ground.
Awesome. I forget which one you took.
Bellari Kori. I'm the combat engineer, special operations, and sabotage.
Perfect.
So I'm trying to do something tacky.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead and do. I think this is daring engineering.
Hell yes. Cool. Daring engineering.
Difficulty.
Oh, by the way, did I get any things from successes? What was
Momentums.
momentums from my thing? 'Cause I got 3,
Uh,
but I didn't know what the challenge was.
The challenge was going to be 2.
Okay.
So yeah, you gained 1, and then your challenge is actually going to be opposed by the sensor platform.
Ugh. That's okay. I got high scores. I'm a roll. Here we go. Oh baby.
Oh baby.
Oh my
baby.
god. Okay.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
And we are tuned in. Everybody looks spidery.
Yeah. Okay. So you stroll right past the sensor thing.
Good work.
There
Good
are no
work.
external indications that it senses you, but for all you know, there could be a little light flickering on a control panel somewhere. But it looks clear.
Hopefully you didn't screw up like the last time.
Hey, positive thoughts. Positive thoughts.
Just covering my bases, boss man.
All right. Look, we got past these. Let's keep going. Like you say, time's not on our side on this mission, so we'll cover as much ground as we can. And
Well, because we're at the base, we're in like at the outside the base now, right?
No.
Okay,
No.
no.
Yeah, you've still got a little ways to get there. You're sort of at this point in the mission where you had to make a decision, and I think when you came up with the plan, you figured you'd play it in the moment, and that is there is a canyon, and the rock is got low levels of magnesite in it, which will help block any sensors. So it leads very close to the outside of the village, but it works in both directions. Like, yes, you'll be in a canyon and sensors will have a hard time detecting you, but at the same time, you won't have a great view of your surroundings, and there will be elevated positions above you. The other option is to go across this scrubland, which doesn't have a lot of cover, but if anything does come, you're going to have more warning.
I'm more so like here's my question. Do we know of any ways into the base? Like what does the actual base look like?
All you have are aerial photographs and
Mhm.
sensor scans, but it really comes out to the same sort of thing. That have been taken by Iridians and other traders that have been paid off in the past. So the base is protected by a fairly high fence in the middle of this city that I mean, it's a small city. Think like something in the Midwest where like this is the thing and the
Yeah.
city grows around it.
So once we get past the scrubland, let's say if we go through the scrubland, what exactly what is that is the destination? Is it a town or is it the base?
It is a town. Like you'll hit once you get through the scrubland, you'll sort of be coming up against the outside of the city.
And we can assume that the city is in league with the base that we are attacking?
It is a Cardassian colony.
Okay, so everybody. Okay, cool, got it.
I mean, there might be some other sort of associated or known races, but by and large, like this is a Cardassian city. This is a Cardassian planet, and it is obviously a Cardassian military depot.
And where does the canyon let out?
The canyon lets out sort of on a like a different side of the city, but it will also like you'll when you climb out of this canyon, there will be houses and other buildings in view. They won't be like super tight yet, but you will be able to start seeing signs of civilization.
Boss man, I don't think that canyon's a good call. There's going to be Jem'Hadar and spoonheads everywhere on that ridge.
Yeah, we'll take the we'll take the fields.
Okay.
Well,
Scrublands.
one way or another, we're gonna have to look like we belong when we get there.
And how do you suppose we're going to do that?
I mean, I didn't have any ideas. I was just pointing it out.
We're just gonna have to walk soft and stick to the shadows.
And carry a big gun.
This is not the first time we've done this. Let's do this.
All right, stealth rolls around.
Stealth rolls all around. Difficulties
I
too.
assume?
I am an Esmore, or I'm thinking.
Oh,
You're an Esmore. That's one, right?
That's
Good thing
one.
I've got sneaking as a focus. So that is two successes.
This is control security.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it was my security was just one higher, I would have gotten that.
That's okay. I also only got one.
Okay. So I think then at some point a dust plume appears in the distance as some sort of vehicle begins approaching. However, because you are out in the open, you do have warning before it shows up, but there's really nowhere for cover. So Tanjat, you've
which
got a
features for
few
all of us?
seconds. You're all Bajoran.
How much warning do we have?
You've got a minute, maybe 90 seconds. I imagine that vehicles travel quickly when you don't have to worry about wheels.
Well, it's sand, right?
Yes.
Everybody in the sand, cover yourself.
Ugh,
I mean, I think it's
sand. It's everywhere and it's coarse.
Okay. Tanjat, let's make this a roll. Go ahead and roll your presence command with lead by example as a focus.
Okay.
Difficulty is 2 to make an advantage, but this will give everybody an advantage on doing the same thing.
Now I'm stealth.
Uh,
Can I assume that maybe I took cover behind like a bush or something? Because like I actually made my roll.
The roll was to avoid being detected as a group. So I think you still have to cover yourself in the sand.
I did
Yeah.
not roll,
Okay.
Do I still have to
I-
information?
I am gonna go ahead and spend that momentum we got.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, this is going to be interesting.
All right. Yeah, you guys are in for a fight. Okay. Well, no, that was
we're hidden.
no,
We're just more sandy.
there's a complication. Yes.
Yeah.
So the vehicle, which I don't have a clear picture of in my head because we never see what cars look like in Star Trek.
They usually just use shuttlecraft.
Yeah. Oh, it could be a Cardassian shuttle too, I guess. Yeah, so it lands a distance away and 5, 6. We'll say 5 Cardassian soldiers sort of spread out and advance with weapons ready. So they will start out at long range. Oh, those are images, that's why. I'm like, why can I not find the Cardassian soldier I made? Okay, so you guys do go first, unless there's a reason not to.
Do
they look like they have our specific location, or they just know we're kind of out here?
They know you're kind of out there.
What exactly? Why don't they know exactly where we are? Is it very dusty out here? Is there still like obscurity?
You are somewhat concealed. You don't have physical cover, but you are somewhat concealed. And I mean, the sun's going down, so maybe that's behind you. For whatever reason, they do not physically see you, but they have your location from whatever sensor picked you up. Probably former.
Okay. And have they all left the vehicle unattended?
You cannot see inside the vehicle, so you do not know for sure.
Billy, can you get eyes on that vehicle?
Let me look through my. Oh, do I have a scoped weapon?
You do have a scoped weapon.
Or Zay, I should say.
You know what? I'll just go ahead and say that you can see that there's the hands of a pilot or driver inside it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take a turn to like give some orders?
Yeah, I mean this is combat, right?
Yeah, we're in combat now.
So
What-
you go first unless there's a compelling reason not to, and in this instance there's not a compelling reason not to.
What would I have to roll to send in the spiders?
It would almost be like ordering it. So it's just one spider that's dog-sized. It's got a bite that's poisonous, but it's not super strong. So I mean, it's not going to take down a guy on its own, but it is useful for many things. But that would be a presence command.
I thought we
Probably
had
wait
like
till they're
illusions
closer.
or holograms.
I mean, mobile emitters aren't a thing yet.
No, but what did Sora's character that with the spider that made him look like more? I don't remember.
Oh, it
Oh,
wasn't
that-
visually look like more. It was like just
Yeah.
tricking the sensors to make you
Ah.
appear that way,
Yeah,
like
like
life
static
signs.
signal noise.
Got it. Okay, so I thought that wrong. In that case, never mind me. I'll pass for now.
All right, so who's taking the
Carlos
first turn?
wanted to-
Yeah, I just want to bark out, like, not to sound cliche, but like, don't shoot until until you see the whites of their eyes, like.
They're-
Or...
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no.
Boss, there's only one person in that vehicle. If one of us can just stealth over and take him out, we can just get a ride. Leave these guys in the dust.
Yeah. Fuck. What I really want to do is create like an advantage here.
All
Maybe
right.
something like get the drop. Like I just want to give like an order to like have everybody wait. I want to do a synchronized attack basically.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys all even just pass your turns until they're within sight of you, then I mean, you're
But
basically just holding your action.
You're trying to use presence command to get us like, sort of like a well-oiled machine sort of deal, right? Like,
Yeah.
Ambush.
Could-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll presence command. Difficulty is always 2 for advantage.
Composure.
Like maybe
Yeah.
the spider bites the guy in the car, and then like the ninja comes out of nowhere, and
Oh my god.
damn
oh my
it.
god.
Wow.
So it's
you
2 and a
succeed.
complication.
Yeah. So what's the complication?
We can't see the pilot.
Yeah, you don't have a shot on the pilot.
Spider is stealthy. Could we send the Baloco?
You can, but hold on just a second, sorry. Yeah, so it's their turn, and I'm just playing them as sort of like one character, that squad. So they move forward, and And they are now within medium range, I think. Or actually, one movement moves you anywhere within medium range. So they're in close range. They will see you any moment. So Tanjat took his turn, so any of the other characters can take theirs.
Oh, are they in one range increment?
But they're in short range.
They're in short range?
Yes.
Oh, then Mrs. Stabby McStabberson from Stabtown is going to just totally come out with them with a fucking knife.
Okay. So yeah, you sort of leap up from the dirt, and you see all the Cardassians like stop, and they have their stupid short little phasers or disruptors, and they point at you. That is Fen. Where is Fen's character sheet? Hiding. Boom. Okay. So yeah. I think melee is fitness command.
Okay.
Or fitness security, I'm sorry.
Helps if I'm looking at the right character. Fitness security, you say?
Yeah, which actually swap control and fitness now that I remember that your character is...
You look like you're doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, your fitness is 11 and your security is 4, so 15, and this is martial arts, so 15-4.
All right. 15-4, and it's an oppose, correct?
No, the difficulty is... God, I think it's just 1 for melee attack.
Stab time! I make it.
I'm just going to pull up that reference.
On the nose. We're doing so well a minute ago.
Yeah, with all our 20s.
Yeah, I keep getting like the.
Oh no,
the
I
dice
meant
are
for
hating Tanjat this evening.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why you got arrested. This is going tits up.
All right. So yeah, the difficulty is 1. You got 1. So roll your damage for the sword, which is 3 plus your security, which is 4. So roll 7 dice, and you'll do an additional 2 damage per effect. Remember, that's a 5 or a 6.
Oh wait, no, wrong dice.
Wrong dice.
Well, there's a
There we
5.
go. All right. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you do
1 effect.
10 damage. I was counting that effect as the 2 damage.
Okay.
So yeah, you jump up. He has resistance 1, so that means you only do 9 damage, which is still more than 5. So yeah, you pop up and just take him down in one slice.
Stab.
So now
like
it's
this is a neck cut.
now it's their turn.
I'm getting shot.
Oh wait, no, you guys can't keep the.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, they open fire at the one target that they can see. There's 4 of them left, so that's.
Any of them look like high ranking?
No, they're all mooks. All right, so yeah, they're shooting with a disruptor pistol at what's her face.
Just one of them, right?
No, all of them.
Wait, they can all shoot at once?
Yeah, they all shoot at once.
Right.
They're all one character.
Oh, okay. Well, luckily,
Uh,
that was pretty.
Yeah, that
shit roll.
wasn't great because they're rolling at a 12, so that's 1,
2.
2, so they hit. Damage is 6 plus security, so that's I can't count, or I guess I wasn't counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and vicious 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You guys just died.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you don't have any momentum.
I think I just died.
Yeah, okay. So Esri and Fen, who you guys have known for a couple of years and been comrades together, jumps up, stabs the guy that's closest to her, and all of her friends gun her down.
So I thought we were able to wait until we could all kind of go?
Because I was
The
missing.
idea of an ambush, like
So the ambush gives you the that actually, because the
Might
ambush would have
save her.
made the difficulty one easier for Demore or for Fen, but that doesn't save her. And yeah, I mean, you still have to go through the turn order, but you can spend. Is it 1 or 2 to keep momentum?
I just like it seems kind of ridiculous that they all move as one group and then can do shit like that for every one of our turns.
Oh, they can't do that for
Is
every one
that-
of your turn. They are one
No.
character.
This is just how minion groups work, right? Like this is just a very lucky minion group, right?
Could
Yeah, they
could
just
I have
rolled stupidly well.
Wave hand. This gives you guys incentive.
Yeah, there's like that is their turn. They are one. They're not going to roll 5 dice against each of you.
I just didn't knew they were gonna go right after that turn because I
Yeah,
wanted to use that.
Okay, so the
I
way
just thought
combat works
Well,
is
no. Okay.
I'm fine with this.
Well, no, I just want to understand it so that way I can understand a little more how to utilize it in the future.
Yeah, so turns go back and forth, right? So players always go first unless there's some compelling reason why not, and then they go. But you can spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative and continue to go on your turn, or continue with your turn next. But otherwise, like it just alternates back and forth until everybody has gone, and if one side runs out, then the other side just keeps going. That's
Okay,
the way
yeah,
it works
but
with
I mean,
ships too.
Okay,
Um,
but my question is,
Okay.
so they got out of their ship, and then closed the range, and then Terra attacked.
Oh,
and
I
then
see
they
what you're
shot
saying.
her.
Because they did technically move after I started combat.
Oh, so does that mean
Yeah.
I don't die?
Okay, that's fair. Okay, yeah. So then the NPC that you were playing does not die.
Okay.
Yet.
Okay.
So what is the current initiative order then?
Well, they have all gone since they are one character. Or like one minion group.
And their move this round was getting out of the car and doing a move action?
No, I sort of started combat after they got out. But then, yeah, they spent a turn moving forward to get within range of you guys.
When is their next turn?
After you
we're
have
all done.
all gone.
Okay. So the initiative order is they get out, they don't see us, they do a move action, and then we forego, and then we start a new round with them at the top of the initiative, right?
No, at the beginning of the round, the players always go first unless there's some reason they shouldn't.
Oh,
So we're about to
I
go on a
see.
murdering frenzy.
Yes.
Do they go last after we're done then?
No.
No, we get one round.
They are one character. They've used their entire round.
I'm saying, when do they go again? After we have all gone?
Okay.
After
Yes.
we have all finished,
Okay.
and then I
And-
go, and then one of
then-
us goes again.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We all on the same page now?
I think we got it. I'm glad we did that.
Okay, that was a little more.
This is kind of our first on foot dealio too. So
Okay. It was just a little more aggressive than I enjoyed. So let's move on then.
Sorry.
And so they all fire wildly and miss because they're not going to just stand there and do nothing while their friend is cut
Murdered.
down. So who's going next? Nobody?
I'll
I mean,
go next.
Yeah.
Since I have my big gun.
All right, that is you are not in Nesmore. You are Kori. No, that's
no,
the
he's a
demolitions.
sniper.
Yeah, where is he? I got too many characters up on my screen. There he is. Okay.
I'm Billy Zane.
Yes.
Billy Zane.
Okay. So you're shooting?
Mm-hmm.
Control security difficulty is 2. Accurate means that if you spend a minor action aiming,
Mm-hmm.
you can re-roll a d20.
Well, yeah, I'll do that.
And combat. And then what other?
4A, intense and accurate.
Intense. The attack is designed to inflict massive harm. The cost to avoid an injury is caused by an intense weapon, increases by 1 for each effect. Okay.
And then, oh, it's got deadly also.
Deadly means you can't, or it's harder to attack non-lethally with it. But I don't think
Right,
you guys
gotcha.
have to worry about that right now.
No.
Oh my god.
God
Ouch.
damn!
Jesus. Well, it's not a critical, but it's definitely.
You can re-roll one of those.
That's
because
right,
it's
I can.
accurate.
Hey, that one.
Yeah, but
Not
it
a-
still wasn't the 2 that you need to hit.
Yeah.
Wait. Ambush.
Shit. Ambush. You're right. Okay, so you hit. Go ahead and do 4 plus your security, which is 4. So do roll 8 dice for damage. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the cost to avoid an injury would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're not going to spend 7 momentum to avoid an injury for that guy. So another one goes down. Okay. Who's next?
I can take a turn.
You are Kori.
Kori. Yeah. And I don't think I'm going to use my pulse grenade. Do I only have 1 pulse grenade?
No, you have enough to use 3 per combat.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the potential liabilities there if I throw a grenade?
Complications
in the area
mean
where
that you
defend-
catch allies in the blast.
Hey, Fen, heads up.
Also, there is the charge quality there, which
What
means
does that mean?
that if you spend the minor action to charge, you can do a couple of extra things. You can either make it pierce. You can give it piercing 2, which means it'll go through 2 resistance per effect, or you can give it vicious. Hold on. Oh, I had that page open and then I had to restart my computer for some reason.
Oh, no. I'll look in the index.
Yeah, hold on.
Charge quality. What page is it?
I got it. It's right here. Okay.
Oh,
So if you take the preparation before attacking, you can add either area, which it already has, intense, piercing 2, or vicious 1. So vicious 1 would,
Piercing
for every 5 or 6, it does 1 additional damage. Piercing 2 would mean for every 5 or 6, it pierces 2 armor. They only have resistance 1.
Okay. And then intense, what does it do? It has a chance of like stunning them?
I just read intense for Tom. Cost to avoid an injury caused by an intense weapon increases by 1 for each effect rolled.
Oh, okay.
Because-
I'm just gonna do. I'll do vicious
Okay.
and go ahead and roll. Here we go. 2 is my difficulty.
2 is your difficulty. 1 because of the advantage ambush.
Okay. And when I'm rolling against a group of mooks, is area attacks like extra good? I'm kind of just going on how it is in Star Wars.
That's a
Or
good
D&D.
idea, but no.
No?
Oh,
Where?
well. I mean, you're going to catch... Technically, you'll catch them all in the explosion. Yeah, you're right. So area should do something since I'm running them as a mook group.
What is the I'm curious. I mean, I'll roll it. I don't really like. I'm not super invested in this particular role, but I'm curious for the future.
Take an
Where
extra
is
die.
group of mooks? Okay.
Stolen from another 2d20 property.
Oh, okay.
What the actual hell?
What? Yeah, what is going on with all this?
Oh man, this happened in Zimborum the other night too. Yeah. So go ahead and roll your damage.
What is my damage?
What is the damage on a pulse grenade?
It's 4A.
4A.
Area.
Yeah, so that's 4d6 plus your security, so 7d6.
7d6. Okay. Oh, Zen. Oh, Zen.
1, 2,
Or
3,
Fen.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
No, Fen, get out of the... Oh.
Yeah, I don't think there's avoiding it this time.
Yeah.
So I think they're all dead. But Fen is too. We'll do a nice
final death. It's
nice,
a final destination
nice
like situation.
touching slow death in just a moment. The
Actually, not touching slow death. I see the grenade fall by me, and I go, "Son of a bam!"
All right, that's fair. I like that.
I still haven't taken a turn. Could I try and save Fen? I have first aid at least.
Oh no! I
Oh,
just
you know,
took
you have
grenade.
2. She has 2 wounds. Actually, you could try and save her. Actually, here's the option. Here's what it comes down to, right? Is that there is still one guy in that transport who just saw the grenade go off and is about to fly away. So you could try and save Fen, or you can try and take that either the guy or the ship down, so that the base isn't put on high alert.
Yeah, take the guy down. I'm okay with dying. This is a flashback moment. If it was my actual character, I'd say try to save me. But that's just too good of a moment. This son of a bitch, than explosion.
There is one problem. He's and this is not a shooter. How am I gonna take it down?
Send your spider in.
Poison.
Can the
Sleep
spider
poison.
get there in time faster than a phaser?
Throw the spider.
Draw it. Okay, I'll throw the spider.
Go ahead and roll presence command for the spider, and we'll say that we'll say he can be there if this succeeds.
So that's 12. What is the difficulty? With the ambush.
With the ambush, we'll make the difficulty 1. Ooh.
Succeed by 2 and add a
God
momentum.
damn.
What did you have a focus that would
Yes.
work with that?
Animal
Focus-
handling.
Yes.
So it looks like we got one.
All
more.
right, so yeah, the Cardassian, the shuttle starts taking off, and we see the view sort of like through the windshield that they love to do for shuttles. And the Cardassian who's flying away looking distressed doesn't see the 4-legged big furry spider creeping up behind him.
It's the spitter scene from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. And so you guys don't see what happens inside, like it cuts away, but then you see the shuttle start to corkscrew and smack into the ground and come like sliding to a stop about 20 yards away from you.
Hey, look, guys, you have your entry now too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try to repair the shuttle if we can do that.
I'm gonna see if I can repair any part of what's her name?
Fen?
Then
Fed is
Fen is
dead.
dead. Your Paluku is not. It crawls out of there and like goes over to you and like, did I do good? Did I do good? You know, it's very, very proud of itself.
I give it a Palooka treat.
our
The shuttle is, I think, a lost cause, but
Oh,
the
no.
shuttle pilot is inside and not completely dead.
so are any of these uniforms salvageable?
Sure.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna matter. Like, we're not gonna look like we're gonna look like Bajords no matter what we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, but from afar.
No.
Even
No.
your skin tone
No.
is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
literally everything is wrong. Like we are not going to pass for Cardassians from afar or near.
All right, so Tanjat,
Um,
you like look inside of the shuttle and you see the wounded Cardassian there, blood streaming from his forehead. chest heaving in effort, and he looks you in the eye and just says please, and he sort of like reaches his hand out.
I shoot him.
Okay. I think that's a good spot for a break, because I really have to go to the bathroom. So this is Star Trek Adventures Pathfinder on the Kobold Cafe, and we'll be back right on the hour. And we are back. And I'm going to hide all these because we are back in the present on Maganda. The Federation has basically the way the treaty was written is both races have like an equal say in this matter. So they've sort of elected to do a more structured hearing. Since the prisoner is the property of Maganda, actually, I guess at this point, no, not really, Tanjat, but they're gonna do one hearing, I think, for both, to just determine where the extradited prisoner should go and whether Tanjat is legally allowed to be arrested or not. So
Okay.
you guys have spent some time researching. There is not a lot of information about Tanjat out there in general. Where are we? Right here. Okay. There's information about some sort of a colony that, you know, had medical issues or was possibly, you know, attacked, but it's all kind of piecemeal. There's not a lot of information in Federation database from Cardassian space at the height of the Dominion War. So it's kind of hard to verify the claims. There are a few pieces of evidence, right, that get I guess sent over from the Gull. So you have the stardate in question, and you have the Cardassian accounts, which basically says that in an act of retribution for the attacks on the Maquis and the taking of, or I guess retaking in this case, of Bajor and Deep Space Nine, the planet was subjected to an attack by a combined Maquis Bajoran, I guess, task force or military group. The name of the... Sorry, I have the name written down somewhere. Oh, what did I call that chemical weapon? There we go. Destabilized morphogenic cyanogen. It's a fairly horrific way to die. In that
Each of those words are bad.
Yeah. So it's basically something that uses the energy stored inside the body and the water to either cause the organs and skin to rot from the inside out, or in the best case scenario, they sort of like end up dehydrated to death because the water and energy are diminished in their bodies. It happens fairly quickly, but it also dissipates fairly quickly, and while not super easy to make compared to some other chemical weapons, it does have the advantage of being easy to transport, store, and deploy. So the reason that they have specifically found out about Tanjot, Taurus Quinn, and they have a few other names is because they have an informant who was there who basically told them, hey, this was an attack and this is who did it.
It's a very pissed off Fen.
Yeah, it could be Kori feeling guilty for killing Fen.
They are not willing to
think-
release the name of the informant.
So that's the information that we on our side have dug up, correct?
As well as what the Cardassians have shared with you.
In the flashback, okay, what exactly were the conditions under which they said this horrible chemical was used?
What do you mean? What conditions?
Like, what did they say actually happened? Like, do they have a narrative of what they say actually happened?
There were no survivors, so they don't know for sure. But they know when the colony was attacked and what it was attacked with.
How many people attacked them?
They don't know because there were no survivors.
So,
oh, like how many names do they have?
I'm saying, like, what do they say went down? Because, like,
they say that a combined group of military.
How many?
They have they only have 3 or 4 names because most of the other ones were wiped out in the course of the Dominion War, but those 3 or 4 names included Tanjot's and Taurus Quinn's.
So they are alleging that 3 or 4 people walked into town and massacred everybody with this chemical. Is that the idea?
They said there were others, but they don't have the names, and those other people have died since.
Okay, cool.
All right, so the administrator, or she's a minister, but she's sort of set things up so you can do have a proper hearing. She is uncomfortable with the fact that the Federation and the Cardassians are both asking her to rule on something that they have a vested interest in her ruling in their favor on. But just because of the commercial nature of her planet, she has vowed to do as good a job as she can. So, your guys, Captain Damore, your job specifically is going to try and be to convince her that Taurus Quinn should be remanded to the Federation and not to the Cardassians, and then B, that Tanjot has no reason to be arrested.
Well, before that, can I have a conversation with Tanjot in private?
Yeah, I would like to say, this is going to be just before the trial begins. You walk in to see him sitting in a waiting room, basically, with the guards outside. All 6
But
of
we
them.
we're not being tracked or recorded or anything.
No, you can speak freely.
I will approach and then sit down across from him, and I am just stare for a minute and then be like, first off, Tanjot, or Commander, the fact that you were willing to turn yourself over to to the Cardassian Union. Gives me pause. What were you thinking?
I was there. I was culpable.
But turning yourself over to you do realize that you would be automatically found guilty. There is not the Federation way of doing trial.
I know how Cardassian law works.
Second off, did you actively set off a weapon, or were you just there?
I mean, I was just there.
All right. Who did set off the weapon?
I think Tanjat's just been staring at the floor in front of him this whole time. And he's just like, I don't really know the details.
Was it the Maquis?
I think Tanjat just nods.
And your mission was to do what at that facility?
We were securing and raiding a stash of Cardassian weapons.
And was this neurogenic weapon or this gas weapon among them?
That's a good question that I don't have a specific answer to.
I think that was asking Colin. Colin, do you have an answer?
No, it was not.
All right. So you were willing to turn yourself over to the Cardassian Union over the fact you were simply at a location. Is that correct?
Yes.
Then I will advise you during this tribunal that you do not open your damned mouth.
I think Tanjat just nods.
You are obviously not right in the head for this particular endeavor. So, I will be defending you. They will try to push your buttons. They will try to make you say things that will incriminate you. I need your promise as a Starfleet officer and a Bajoran resistance fighter that you will not go down for a crime you did not commit, and you will keep your temper under control.
Nod.
Excellent. And she'll stand up and just kind of eye you for another minute and then give a nod and then walk off.
Okay, I think we can skip ahead real quick to when he is on the stand and being interrogated by the Cardassian.
Who is there?
Who is there? There's like a whole cadre of security guards that follow him around because there's 2 Magandans, 2 Starfleet, and 2 Cardassians, and then the Gull and the Glynn, the Magandan minister, and whoever from the ship wants to be there.
Yeah, I'd like to be there, and also I would like to spend a momentum to do walking encyclopedia.
Okay.
Cardassian jurisprudence.
There's really no such thing. So
I'd like to be there.
in Cardassian law, trials are public, but they're just to sort of explain how the crime happened. You are guilty. If you are on trial, you are guilty, and the evidence presented and everything is really just to show how great the state is at catching criminals and how you could not have gotten away with it.
Okay, in that case, Magondan jurisprudence?
That might be better. Okay. Magondan law, I mean, this is outside of their normal operating. So she's sort of giving she's endeavoring to make this as fair as possible, and just, you know, the idea is that she's going to give everybody enough time to make up her mind over the disposition of these two prisoners. This is also the first time that you guys have actually seen Taurus Quinn, who does recognize Tanjat and sort of has a visible surprised reaction when he sees him. But they do not speak to each other.
Do I recognize him?
You absolutely recognize him.
All right, I go from sullen to daggers.
Let me go close the door here real quick.
Dagger eyes.
All right, I
Dagger eyes.
don't know who my wife was talking to, but it was quite loud.
Spooky ghost.
All right, so yeah, I think the card. Wait, where were we? We were at the Cardassian Inquisition, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was asking about Jurisprudence.
Oh yeah, she's coming in this with an open mind. She doesn't really have her mind made up about either side. Like I've said before, she's uncomfortable being in this position and literally just wants to do as fair a job as she can, because she does not want to be in the position where she's upsetting one group over the other. So the Cardassians are going first by virtue of alphabetical order. Not really, but he is going first. Tanjat is on the stand and has been sworn to secrecy in, you know, some way or other. Or not sworn to secrecy, I'm sorry. Sworn to truthfulness.
On the prophets.
I mean, she would use her gods or her method, not yours.
But also, by the way, even though she is batshit insane, she is a Vulcan and a fucking library. I will have the ensign with me.
Okay. So the goal starts by asking for your name.
Hanjat Jaws.
And your rank.
Commander of the Starship Percival.
And when you were in the Bajoran militia, what was your rank?
I eventually climbed to Major.
In the year 2373, did you serve? Were you deployed to the planet in question?
Yes.
Did you personally use chemical weapons against civilian targets there?
No.
Did you or anybody under your command cause the deaths of any civilians while you were on the planet? Commander? He looks significantly at the minister. Commander, do you know how many people were in the city at the time of the attack?
Too many.
I agree. In a figure, Minister, that number was close to 20,000. What other point would he want to make? Commander Tonjot, do you have any regrets from your time in the Bajoran militia?
More than I can count.
Do you believe that any of the acts that you did while in the service of Bajor were morally wrong? Do you believe that any of the acts that you committed while in the service of Bajor were illegal?
Objection. All the acts during war would be considered legal against the occupying forces.
We're speaking specifically under the Khitomer Accords, which was an agreement between several major races in the Alpha and Beta quadrants, preventing cruel and unusual punishment, proper treatment of prisoners, and setting a foundation for... you can almost hear the air quotes when he says, oh God, what is the word?
I don't know.
Like warfare that is not as horrible.
I don't know.
I don't either. Like, it's there. It'll show up at some point in my head. So basically, he outlines the point of the Khitomer Accords, which is our version of the version of our Geneva Convention, which prevents things like war crimes and spells out pretty specifically what you can and can't do in the time of war.
Then I would remind the council to be specific in his questioning.
Commander Tonjot, he says, not taking his eyes off of the captain. Were any of the acts that you did in service of Bajor illegal under the Khitomer Accords? He looks at the minister, and he's like, I recognize that we are not in a Cardassian courtroom, Minister, but I would like to point out that in a Cardassian courtroom, refusing to answer a question is an admission of guilt. And he goes back over to his table and sits down.
And I will add on the end, and under Federation, members are allowed to not answer questions under when it goes. I don't know the exact, but the Fifth Amendment, but for Federation.
Do you have any questions that you would like to pose to Tonjot?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead.
Commander, you have stated that you were on the planet during this tragedy. What was your mission while you were on the planet?
To secure a weapons depot and return to Bajor with as much as we could.
So yours was a simple mission to take weapons away from the enemy and returned back to your contacts on Bajor. Nothing more.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go with any goal of genocide?
No, ma'am.
Did you participate actively in any genocide? Are you not answering, or did you just cut out?
No, I am not answering.
Let me rephrase.
Tesora is shaking her head back, like left and right, and going,
Let me rephrase the question. Did you use the gas?
No. No reply.
Oh, wait, so no reply or no? I'm confused.
He does not reply to that question.
My gods. You're making this hard.
I know.
Oh, oh.
How is this entire crew in Starfleet?
Right?
yes, me, he just needs a better lawyer.
Because I possessed a certain set of skills at a time where Starfleet desperately needed people.
All right, so I think
Who-
this is going off the
who-
rails a little.
Yeah, a little bit, because he's telling me things that 5 minutes ago, before in real world, he said that he didn't do. So I, as a player, am confused.
I think we need a little bit. I think like the thing that's holding us back is that we have not had time to actually have the commander, the captain, and the commander like discuss a strategy for the case. Just because Tanjat was holed up in this hotel room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and I also
Like-
kind of wanted the story to come out a little bit more in the flashbacks. So I've got one, possibly two more, if we want to go back to that real quick, and that may help with
I
this.
think that would be necessary, because as of now, he said one thing and is saying something completely different now.
I think there was some
So-
miscommunication then,
Yeah.
Oh.
but that's okay.
What was miscommunicated?
I asked if you had if it was the Maquis or you who did the gassing, and you said the Maquis.
Well, okay, let's go to the flashback then.
Okay.
So night has started to fall on this desert planet. As you guys reach sort of the outskirts of the city, you, instead of burying Fen, you vaporized with your weapons on high energy settings her and the Cardassians, or maybe staged the shuttle crash to look like an accident.
I like that. We'll go with that.
It might be hard to explain the disruptor burns, but anyway,
Oh.
you're good. So you come across, or you come up to the outside of the city. There is really only one path forward because of another sensor net and more active patrols, including a Haleki class. It's kind of like their version of a roundabout. Runabout. Why do I keep saying roundabout? Runabout, but it's patrolling overhead. So you have to, at this point, you kind of have to stay within the roads and things to not make an abnormal heat net, or heat sensor. Heat signature. Thank you, my lord. So yeah, you come up to the outskirts of the city, and sort of, we'll say, not guarding, but imposing in between your team and the path forward is a pair of Cardassian women and one late adolescent male that are like standing at the gate to the town from outside. conversing, but obviously standing there and waiting for something.
Okay.
Probably for those guys to come back.
Yeah, probably those guys come back.
I mean, that's a good guess.
Yeah, yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah. Let's go take these guys out real quick. Don't want to leave anything behind us. Oh, you know what? How about we try to sneak past them?
Because that
Is
worked
there a
so
good
well
way to
the
get
last
past?
time.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
mean, because it is getting dark. There are definitely shadows that you can use to try and slip past. Although obviously a complication will result in one of them hearing you.
Okay. Uh, um. Options? Anybody else have ideas?
Hmm.
So you guys are kind of at the outskirts of the town. That's where we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like an official wall around the town, but there's
Mhm.
definitely like a perimeter, and this
Mhm.
is the gate that that you would use if you were heading into the direction of the desert that you guys were coming from.
Gotcha.
What kind of industry is in this town?
Most of the city is based around the depot. So a lot of the people work there. Some of them are families of the soldiers who guard there. It's almost like a company town, except instead of a company, it's the military base. It is also a colony, so there are various colonists and things. But
Oh, are there possibly like trains and things going through?
going up. So the
Going
depot's
up.
on the surface, but almost everything goes up into orbit or into the ships, and get beamed. So you don't have to move the shit around a whole lot, except maybe within the depot,
Okay.
because it's not like the planet is a battlefield, and with matter transportation, it's not too difficult to move.
Yeah, that's a good point. So no trains to jump on and sneak through.
No trains to jump on and sneak through. So you're gonna have to either stealth past the people or distract them somehow.
Oh, your spider is so distracting.
Uh, he will not, and send the spider for a distraction. Probably just go and jump into someone's face, try to bite it.
It's a hell of a distraction.
Yeah, that's very distracting.
All right, well, you go ahead and roll for the command, and then I'll roll for the spider's attack.
All right. That would be
Presence command again.
presence command. So that's a 12
Yeah,
with animal handling, right?
yeah, and I think still just difficulty 1 for something like this, because it's not a real complex order.
I think that gets us some momentum.
Wait, am I? Oh, okay. I was scrolling up.
Okay, so here is the... we're going to use fitness for the jump attack. And security, so it's like a whole 7, but... Okay, so it doesn't do any damage, but it does jump on one of the women. The young boy pulls out a disruptor pistol and starts shooting at it, kind of wildly. There's a
Right,
lot
I
of
could-
screaming. Nobody's ever seen something like this before. So I think that gives you guys the advantage. Oh, you know what? If it was an advantage, I should have done too.
Distraction.
Oh, God, a giant spider.
Kori wipes a tear from his eye and says, "You know who had a focus and distraction?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it would have been great if you hadn't have thrown a grenade at her.
Let's move on, Captain. Morning will not do us good.
Okay, so you guys can now all sneak by with a 1.
I got the 1.
You got the 1. Okay.
Do I still need to roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have to roll.
Damn.
One.
All right.
That's like 2 momentum.
And Vivek. Okay. Yeah. Great job.
All right. And the spider comes skittering around at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. The spider comes, following you, and there's more screams and sort of wild shots. But you do leave the gate behind you. And it's, only with a little bit more sneaking that you're able to get to the center of town where the wall surrounds the largest military base. So breaching the wall itself, as most walls, you can go through, because it's a wall and not a fence, you can't really see what's on the other side. Go ahead.
Would we possibly have had equipment for such a thing?
Yeah.
Could we have, explosives planned, ready to go through the wall?
Yeah, when it comes to equipment, whatever you guys could conceivably would have packed, I'm just going to say you have here.
Yeah, and then, is there a way we can kind of scan behind the wall to at least, okay, there's nobody here.
Yeah, I mean, tricorders are
Yeah.
easy, right? So you just whip... actually, no, who's going to whip one out? Who's got science? Moore has the best science skill, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we probably, special forces style, had kind of a plan for breaching a wall.
Yeah, so, Ever, why don't you roll control science? That's 9-3, so that's a 12.
Right.
Difficulty is just 1 to see what's on the other side of the wall.
I get 1.
You got 1. Yeah, great.
No, wait, what was?
What?
Oh, no, wait, I don't have any focus. So
Right, yeah, no, it's just
yeah,
1.
Sorry.
So you do find a section of the wall that seems like it's clear on the other side. So you're just gonna blow a hole in it.
Yeah, I'm sure we got, a breaching rig to just
Oh
go
god,
right
you could just
through
shoot it with a phaser at the right strength.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
dissolve it almost.
Yeah, that's probably quieter, too.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
All right.
We do that!
So on the other side of the wall, you kind of get your first view of the whole field. So there is the landing field is empty. It's there's a there's a whole bunch of people even at night moving equipment all around. So there's they call them anti-grav units on Next Generation, but it's basically a dolly that you can manipulate the artificial gravity around to make it easier to move things. So you see, crews of people moving all sorts of equipment around. And then as you are waiting, you see one guy come over to light a smoke or whatever the Cardassian equivalent is. Maybe he's going to the bathroom.
Okay. Too bad our person who sneaks up and stabs that person is dead.
Too bad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sneaky.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you the hand signal to go take that guy out real quick.
Okay. Is this daring security?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
There's your 2. Yeah, so you are able to sneak within range of him. How are you trying to take him out?
What does he have on him? Does he have any like devices?
Yeah, but they're in like, he's got like a cargo harness almost on, right? I mean,
Okay.
because his job is to work on what's basically a dock, right? So he's got tools and he's got equipment, but you can't really tell what it is because it's all stored in his overalls.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can just can I just disruptor pistol him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Oh, we have momentum, right?
Yeah, you got a ton.
I'm gonna use one. And then do 3 dice against him, and here we go. Oh boy. Oh. I'm trying to roll. If it's still
2.
yeah, I only make really only 1.
Yeah. Wow.
Zoinks. Yeah, just bad rolls.
Yeah. Okay. So you step up to fire and something happens and the shot goes over his shoulder, so he turns around, so his back is now to the rest of the group, but he looks at you, eyes wide. Somebody else want to take a shot at him real quick before he raises the alarm?
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
Just get him with a buddy rifle.
Yeah. Just control security.
2 successes.
Perfect. Yeah, okay, so you blast this guy in the back and he falls at the feet of not an Esmore. Kori.
Come on, Kori, twice?
So the two of you like grab him and pull him back into the shadows.
Yeah.
Start going through his pockets. I mean, this is obviously a civilian dock worker. He's got, some sort of a computer that helps keep track of what cargo's going where, and some lifting things and some other what you would use to open a cargo container, but it's not a, it's some sort of like an electronic lock opener. Nothing too exciting.
All right. So at this point, I think I'll turn around and like look at everybody like, all right, you know your jobs, Kori. I need you to start going around, and getting ready to level this place. Z, you're with him. So get ready for that. More, you're with me. We're gonna go find the weapons depot. Let's go.
And as you guys are sort of doing this, a Galar class ship does descend, and it's really loud for a second, and it manages to it lands on the pad, and people are moving around. And it's pretty easy to see in like the landing lights underneath this ship that they unload a person who none of you have ever seen before, although an audience watching would immediately recognize as Taurus Quinn, hands bound behind his back, and they march him sort of into the base.
Distraction.
So before we move to the next scene, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Can we retcon that conversation a little, that speech a little bit, considering we're learning more and more information that we
Sure.
probably have been told?
Yeah.
So we can reset my line of questioning. That would be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So what are you asking instead?
Well, we're not doing flashback?
Let's wait for the end of the flashback, and we'll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
All right, so yeah, so you guys are on the landing platform. There is now a full like Cardassian warship here.
All
Still
right.
Same
yeah.
orders, boss.
No, let's. We're gonna alter the plan. We gotta rescue that guy.
Okay.
So you two get ready on. Instead of getting ready to level this place, I need a distraction. So take that ship out. Just rig it to blow, and we're gonna go. I'm sorry. Who'd I send? More. You're gonna come with me. We're gonna go break that guy out. Actually,
Yeah.
no. More. You're gonna go with Kori, and Zay, you're with me.
Just go.
Sounds good.
Let's
Sorry,
go.
Commander. What was your rank in the flashback?
Lieutenant, but you
Lieutenant.
probably call me Tanjat.
Oh,
Jaws.
Sandra.
Yeah, you probably call me Jaws.
You got it, Jess.
All right, so let's
Alright.
do the sabotage of the ship real quick.
Okay.
So that's Ever and Daniel, or Moore and Corey. So sneaking across like the airfield style, thing is fairly easy, but there are two Cardassians guarding the ramp up into the ship, and who knows what you're going to find on board. So what is your plan? Are you going to sabotage it internally or externally?
I mean, we were just told to take it out, not to like commandeer it or anything. So probably to stick to externals,
Easy enough.
unless is there another way into the ship? Maybe.
There's probably a couple. There's only one hatch open, but most of the time it's probably using transporters anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like we can't be guaranteed that there aren't just going to be like a bunch more Cardassians inside the ship.
There would
So-
probably be a bunch more inside of the ship.
Yeah, so let's stay outside, and I'm gonna just start trying to. I mean, I don't really have a bunch of like gear, so
Whatever your character would conceivably have, you can have.
Okay.
And you seem like an explosives expert, so
Well, I have special operations, combat engineer, and sabotage. So
an explosives
Yes.
expert.
yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna start trying to rig
Sabotage.
explosives, to put little detonation mines on the exterior of the ship, as many as I can get safely on without being noticed.
Just like at key points.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's make that, I guess, reason engineering with combat engineer or sabotage. Both seem to work.
Okay, reason.
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah, I got two.
Yeah. So I mean, you string up what you need. Is this like timed or remote?
I was hoping remote.
Yeah, great. Done. Yeah. So you guys string everything up, and they don't ever even notice you were there because there's not a whole lot of security inside of the wall. Except where the prisoner is. So Tanjat and Zay, you guys are near this what you assume is the stockade. There is one guard like in a tower above it, and there's a set of stairs that like go down into an open topped holding area with several cells, only one of which is occupied.
And I say, ordnance is in position, sir. Just let me know when to start the fireworks.
Okay. So yeah, we honestly, I just want to sneak into like a good position.
Good how?
Somewhere where when that explosion goes off and everybody looks up and turns their heads, we pop up out behind crates and just start phasering the lot of them.
Okay. That
Can I take the
sounds
tower, sir?
like a reason command.
Yeah, how about with Zay? We have Zay. I want you to start as soon as that thing goes off, tower first, and then
Yes, sir.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is making an advantage. Difficulties 2. I would say reason command. To set it up, and we're gonna call it the 1-2 punch.
Okay. I'm gonna spend. Is it okay if I spend 3 momentum?
I don't hear any dissent.
Yeah. Well, god damn.
Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so you get your 1-2 punch. What's the? Oh God, what is the thing? Another dock worker, maybe a pair of dock workers, like turns around or like comes around a corner, and you didn't hear him coming, and they see you, and so there's just this moment of like before the thing goes off where everybody's staring at each other.
And then the explosion goes off.
If you tell them to.
Yeah, do it now.
Okay. So then Zay, go ahead and roll your attack on the tower. 1-2 punch is going to make it 1 easier. It's at a longer range, so it's going to come out to difficulty 2. Control security, so 15. Crit on 4 or better.
I'm gonna spend a momentum.
Okay. Oh, and if you spend that minute to aim, which
Yeah.
we've already stated you have, you get that accurate bonus too, where you can reroll a d20. Well, Tom rolled all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you get that momentum back. Yeah, go ahead and roll your. You know what? For dramatic sake, yeah. So the explosion goes off, and parts of the Galer just, I mean, the Galer is not it's small in terms of starships, but it's probably the biggest ship that anybody's ever seen land on a planet. So there's just suddenly struts underneath it are breaking, and it crashes firmly down into the ground, and there's secondary explosions in certain spots on the hull where like the impulse engines are detonating, or there's some sort of chemical inside. And in that same instant, right after the original flash, nobody notices the beam from the old Andorian plasma rifle streak across, strike the Cardassian in the tower, whose like top half of his body disintegrates.
Yeah.
Tanjat, what are you doing? You've got the 2 dock workers.
I am like popping up, and you said I had the phase rifle?
Yeah.
Fuck the 2 dock workers. I am just mowing down that group of Cardassians.
What group of Cardassians?
Oh, you know what? For some
Can
reason
I
I thought
assist?
there was a group of Cardassians.
There's
You
just
know what?
one guard.
There are several that are like scattered around the field.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna start taking out guards then.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me control security. Somebody said something in there.
Oh, I wanted to assist him since I was with Jess.
You're with the other one though.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not with us.
You're
Teams
with
of
Kori.
2. Teams of 2. Nobody alone. Teams of 2. Okay. Is there like a group of 2 or a small clustering of guards that I can like?
This is going to be for like a series of attacks on the people around, I think.
Okay. And let's just say fuck it. I'm going like hog wild with this thing. So those two dock workers are totally included in these attacks.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you can set your phaser rifle for a
Plus, they saw me and they can't know the Bajorans were here. So
wide beam, so like you're catching a lot of people with this. Go ahead.
okay. I'm gonna spend another 3 of these.
Okay. Difficulties 2. Oof.
So
2.
1-2 punch. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
1.
All right. So you gain one of those momentums back. And yeah, so you just you light up. If it was an automatic weapon, it'd be short controlled bursts, but as it is, like anybody watching just sees like fans of phaser light slice out across the tarmac and disintegrating or at least frying several people. It doesn't really seem to matter to Tanjat whether they're holding a rifle or not. Like the Cardassians on this base are going down. So alarms are going off. There's still secondary explosions. Nobody's really sure what's going on, but there is this moment of panic where you can make your move. And so as you sort of like run down into the holding area, you do see that the guy that has been captured is obviously a human.
Cool. Bust him out.
He's like, who the hell are you? What are you doing here?
Well, now we're rescuing you.
He's like, well, did Janessa send you? As you're like pulling him and dragging him. Where are you taking him?
I mean, I figured now he's just gonna tag along with us until and help us get some of these guns out of here.
Okay. Did
yeah,
did
we'll
Janessa
grab
send you?
him and... I don't know a Janessa.
What are you doing here?
Random.
With the Bajoran.
I'm not gonna say that. We're raiding a weapons depot, obviously.
He's like, well, it's not time yet.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but the alarms are blaring. Grab a gun. Let's go.
I mean, he grabs a disruptor pistol and fires as you guys make your run towards the storage area. Yeah, you kick down the door and somebody vaporizes the one Cardassian on the other side. And you are in a huge warehouse, think end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, huge warehouse, full of Cardassian war material. Like anything you could possibly want is in here somewhere.
Oh, we are loading up hover carts full of the best.
Okay. Everybody give me some sort of a roll to figure out how you are what your priorities are when you're grabbing things.
Okay. Reason, security?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely makes sense that Kori would be going for the best phasers.
I'm going right for the WMDs and shit.
Oh my god.
We grab non-working prototypes.
Okay. I imagine that that's the Palooka. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Okay. Moore is probably going for medical supplies or science stuff.
Chemical weapons.
Chemical weapons for Tanjat?
No, for more.
For Moore? That's you, Ever.
Yep.
Okay. Tanjat's telling you to go for chemical weapons or weapons of mass destruction?
Yep. What do I need to roll for that?
Go ahead and give me probably reason medicine or reason science.
Reason science would be 12. So what's the difficulty?
2, and I think pharmacology probably applies here.
I'll take a momentum.
Okay. Oh my god.
So I
Okay.
detonate the chemical weapons.
No, you do not. But you do not find any chemical weapons, and we're gonna deal with that complication in a minute.
Sir, I ain't finding shit. All I see is the Morpho, Scio.
Who else is there?
I haven't
There's-
gone yet.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No, I'm looking for. I don't know, I'm kind of happy with my gun, but I guess I'll look for any big guns.
Okay. Go ahead and give a I guess reason security roll.
So 12, and I'm saving our momentum for all these fuck ups.
God damn. All right. So you got 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not really finding what you're wanting either, and I'm thinking that
Screw it. Let's just blow this place.
I haven't rolled.
yeah. So what's Tanja
Um,
going for?
I'm going with my unconventional warfare focus, and I'm looking for whatever gadgets or weird shit they're up to.
Okay.
So, what do you want?
I think then we'll go insight science.
Insight science.
Yeah.
So, a 10. So the focus does not really matter.
Oh, because it's only a 1. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, you got your 1. Okay.
I got my 1.
So you guys are pretty quickly figuring out that this place like looks like it's full of stuff, but it's not really full of anything super helpful. Like this is obviously either like all the good stuff has been transported aboard ships, or this is like just a holding place for kind of like junk or the stuff that they don't need anymore but can't really get rid of, or what, because everything you guys are looking for just doesn't seem to be here. And then all the lights turn on up above, and you hear a Cardassian voice, "We know you're in here, come out now."
Well, we're obviously not doing that. Yeah, shit. Get ready to blow this joint. When I say blow this joint, I mean make it explode. And I'm looking directly at Kori.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kori, that sounds like your gig.
Yeah. So what how would I do this? Like I have not. Oh wait, I did rig out the place already, right?
No, I mean just make a roll. You rigged
Yeah,
up the ship, but
yeah. I did rig it, but no. Well, there was earlier in the mission. Well, whatever. I'll just roll it, and I shout back up and I say, "Hey, why is all your shit down here suck?"
oh man.
I thought you guys were like supposed to be good at war.
You know what? They're gonna take the bait. He's like, Cardassians are very good at war, and we're exceptionally good at traps. You know, we knew that moving Mr. Quinn here would.
Yeah, I don't see any traps down here either.
Mr. Quinn was the
Tanja-
bait.
Tanja will give the like thumbs up to have I want Kori to keep what he's doing, and then I'm gonna give some hand signals for Zay and Moore and we're gonna start like fanning out and getting ready to like engage. Like we're gonna take advantage of this.
Yeah, okay. Like you peek out, there's a lot of troops.
Can I like maybe insight security with the strategy focus to like kind of set us up and give us a good crossfire, so that way like even if we die, we're gonna this is the fucking Alamo, and we're gonna make a quite a stand.
The Bolivian army ending, I think they call it.
Yeah, exactly that. We're probably gonna die here, so I want everybody to I want to take out as many as we can before we do.
Okay.
This is our Thermopylae. So
Uh,
I want to
so-
set us up.
All right.
We're actually retconning your entire presence in the Star Trek campaign. It's been a big Sixth Sense sort of.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it. I mean, it's another advantage, so that's difficulty 2. Oh man,
God damn it!
do you want to use that determination?
Yeah, I'm gonna use a determination.
So flashbacks and dangerous situations might not go hand in hand when random dice are involved.
Like I said, this is an experiment.
It could explain a scar that we've never seen under Tanjat's uniform.
Oh man. Okay. So you're re-rolling those?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, why did I do that? 2, just 2.
Well,
There. No. It's 14.
okay, so you don't get the thing. They start opening up. Honestly, this is a no-win situation for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I was not really sure exactly how this was going to play out, but I think we're just going to do a slow montage over some sort of a music that has a vibrato woman singing.
Mm-hmm.
So in slow motion, like the Cardassians are, rappelling down from the ceiling or coming out of hidden doors in the crates or whatever, and gunning everybody down. So so we'll start with Zay. The energy weapons master is picking Cardassians off on the catwalk up above. Doesn't see the door or the top of the crate behind him flap open on hinges. It slowly turns around, but because his rifle is so long, he can't get it quick enough as he's shot in the back several times by a pair of Cardassians. Bellari Kori is rigging up an explosive of some sort. Primes the detonator as a disruptor bolt hits him in the side or something. He sort of stumbles and he reaches for the detonator, and as he catches it, his thumb hits one of the selector switches, and a whole wall of the place erupts in flame, taking him and a bunch of Cardassians with him. And then Ines Moore, I think Ines has run over to try and help. Oh damn! I already closed the character sheet. Tom, what was the name of the character I had you playing? Bay.
Zay.
Yeah, Zay. That's right. So running over to try and help Zay as disruptor bolts fly overhead. Cardassian comes up behind him and goes to club him with the rifle, and he's attacked by Plomu. As he's struggling with it, 2 or 3 other Cardassians run up and shoot it with their disruptors. As another one, I think, guns down Zay, who falls on top. Guns down Moore, who falls down on top of Zay, covering his body with his own in a last act of protection. Tanjat and Quinn are sort of backed into a corner as disruptor bolts go everywhere. Quinn looks annoyed, and Tanjat actually looks scared for the first time in the entirety of us knowing him as a character. And that includes when he was standing right next to a mine that was about to detonate. So Quinn sort of starts like retching in the corner, and he throws up and grabs some sort of device that he had obviously swallowed at some point. And he grabs Tanjat by the shoulder and activates it, and we see that there's a teleporter beam that comes down just as like part of the roof collapses on their position. And suddenly the pair of them are on a ship of some sort. I would say in orbit, but honestly, you don't really see any windows. So Quinn grabs Tanjat and sort of shakes him, and he's like, "Listen, you have to come with me right now to the bridge." And he starts running down one of the corridors. Tanjat, do you follow him?
Yeah, Tanjat follows him.
Uh,
Kind of in disbelief, but like, I feel like the transport like is kind of just disorienting. So he's kind of just like, somebody took command, so he's like, yes,
all
and
right.
he does that.
You do pass a couple of crew members as you run. They kind of look a little surprised to see you. When you get when you get to the front of the ship, you see that somebody is currently piloting it over like nap of the Earth on the planet, and he's like, are you trained in starship weapons?
I go stand at the tax station.
All right. He's like, there's a Cardassian legate who's in command of this entire sector down there, and we have to take him out. Do you see the payload release?
Yep.
On my mark. And so the ship kind of, nap of the Earth, and it roars over the spot where you can even see for just a blink of an eye the shuttle that crashed from your ambush earlier. And when you
Quote.
yeah, so and when you get to the city with the lights down below, he's like, now.
Beep.
Yeah, so I think we're back to that same sort of montage where from the bottom of this Maquis ship, which is really just a courier or delivery ship, passenger ship that's been modified. The payload release, like there's not even any bomb bay doors, right? It's just a bunch of canisters underneath that fall sort of in sequence, and they detonate before the surface, and we see it's a silvery cloud that spreads very quickly over the city. And in the streets, people clawing at their throats as they choke, or the eyes and anywhere else where large amounts of fluid build up are rotting or obviously extremely painful. Children, choking on their own vomit as their bodies sort of rot around them. It's a pretty terrifying few minutes, and on board the ship, they're all sort of like blissfully ignorant of the carnage below. And as the ship ascends, the person who is piloting says, "We've got about 10 minutes before the pickets detect us." And Quinn turns to you and he's like, "I don't know who you are, but you just did a pretty amazing thing. I wasn't expecting to be rescued."
Am I looking down at what I just did, like on a console?
Yeah.
Ghostly white.
He's
Just
like,
the realization just hit him. Like, what happened?
"We're with the
what he
Maquis. Yeah, you can come with us if you want."
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. I have a mission.
He's like, all right. He holds out his hand. He's like, my name is Taurus Quinn. I owe you a favor. And with a couple of flicks, you are beamed back down to the surface where, as advertised, the whatever crazy thing that I called it, destabilized something cyanogen.
The death gas.
Yeah, it dissipates
dissipated.
very quickly, and so Tanjot is kind of standing there, maybe 20 feet away from the building that he was in not too long ago. And it's obviously right where we saw Tanjot in the beginning. So then, yeah, let's.
I got an idea.
Yeah,
We'll keep the previous conversation, but could I be questioning the second guy?
absolutely.
And for cinematic reasons, could we have it be like he just finished telling a story?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry.
go ahead.
I wanted to ask: does Eversol ever gets told about the results or the damage done by the chemical warfare?
I think you will in a minute.
Okay.
So then, Tanjot did not know the difference between the weaponry on your, or no. So then, Tanjot did not know the contents of the weaponry.
There was no way he could have. The ship had only recently arrived from Warp in an attempt to rescue me.
So, to his knowledge, he was just defending himself against a known enemy with what could have been phaser banks or a photon torpedo.
He knew he was dropping a bomb, but he had no way of knowing what the payload would be.
So, as you can see, even though Tanjot was the one who pushed the button, he did not load the weapon, nor did he know what the weapon was. How could he? He was in the throes of combat. He was there for a completely different mission. He had rescued this man. He was not a part of the Maquis plan. Therefore, he must be acquitted on these charges.
The Gull stands up and he's like, I have to object. He pulls out his pistol and he's like, I could hand this to that security guard over there. He's not going to know who loaded it or what type of weapon it is. But if he points it at me and pulls the trigger, he's going to know what's going to happen regardless. Is he not?
He was in an action against a military target. He was trying to bomb a facility where his men were just massacred. This bomb.
Let's go ahead and make a roll.
Critical information. Okay, the critical information. Yeah. Okay. I'm using all of the stuff. So I'm using all three, which gives me what, 4?
Well, yeah, that gives you 2 additional dice.
And then I'm using my determination for this game for question everything
Okay.
for a automatic success of 2.
Tesora, do you want to
I would love to assist.
Yeah.
So that is 3 plus my 2. So that is 5.
Tesora?
I would like to take a different angle based on the focus on the planet's jurisprudence, and I kind of want to just get a read on. Okay, What I want to know is two things. What does this planet say about the death penalty? And is this a legal system where the spirit of the law matters more than the letter of the law?
The planet doesn't use the death penalty themselves, but they're not like horrified by anything. And then what the spirit versus the letter of the law is, I mean, I don't know. This one is intentionally tough, right? Like,
What I mean is like, well, okay, I'll just roll it and see what happens. What do you think? I want to ask a clarification question to the judge, and I'm trying to appeal to her sort of sense of. I read her as somebody who is interested in doing the right thing, so I'm trying to make a sort of like moral appeal to her, which I understand is not Tesora's strong suit, but I'm going to see if there's an opening for it anyway. And I think it's insight something, but I don't know.
yeah, I would
Or
say
it could be reason. But either way, is it command?
it's insight command,
Oh, okay.
and you've got your focus
Oh,
still.
baby.
Hey,
Yeah.
so 6.
All right, so 6 versus the Cardassians. Horrible roll, but
Not 6.
he can re-roll social 1, 2. Still not 6. Okay, yeah. So I think she tears the baby in half, right? She gives
Okay, Midas.
yeah. Well, yeah, right? She gives
Solomon?
yeah, it was Solomon.
Solomon. There we go.
Midas's golden touch.
Yeah, Midas was the gold.
So she gives so Tanjat, she's decided, I mean, right, it is the right thing, right? Like, yes, he gassed those people. No, he's not necessarily at fault. And so she decides that he's going to remain with the Federation. Quinn jumped on the grenade, right? He was surprised when he saw you, and he told the truth because, I mean, you saved him all those years ago, and I think maybe he does kind of feel bad about the position that you ended up in. So, he's going to the Cardassians, which is
Objection, Your Honor.
yes.
Don't.
Shut up.
And I'm going to use my determination. And I'm going to use the value when you can't make a scratch, make an itch. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, I say something like, Your Honor, search your feelings. Search what you know about the Cardassian legal system and how it compares to the fair administration of law that you have attempted at great risk to yourself to adjudicate here today. What is the most likely outcome for this individual? Do you believe that he will get a fair trial under the Cardassian system? And if you are turning him over to them, are you not just as responsible for what the ultimate outcome of that is going to be?
I kind of half glare at you.
Okay. So the Gull. So the Gull's retribution is this, right? Like, who are you to say that his legal system is any better or worse than any other? The fact of the matter is that Taurus Quinn did commit, an act of a war crime against the Cardassians, and he should face Cardassian justice, whether ignorance of the law or he decided to break the law knowing what it could be. So yeah, that's his argument against it.
Yeah, and I say, who am I? No, I'm nobody. I'm just an ensign who spent far more time than far more time than I cared to, staying up studying both of these legal systems. It is not for me to judge. That decision is ultimately up to the administrator.
So I guess this is an opposed roll at this point.
This
I am
is
not
also an
helping you
opposed
because
roll.
this is a Maquis dickhead.
Yeah, but our mission was to get him in Federation custody.
Yeah, I
The
don't care about that anymore. Tanjat is my only concern.
Well, like I said, I used my determination.
Okay.
All I'm trying to do is create a sense of doubt in the judge, just making a little itch, making her think twice, like, you know, aren't you the judge here? Like, what do you think should happen under these conditions? And are you confident that the Cardassians are going to take a fair approach? So I'll roll that, and we'll see what happens.
Ooh.
Whoa.
And we
Plus
have-
2.
But I do have the automatic one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
you do.
There are no momentums. There is nothing else to spend, but I figured it was worth the shot.
Yeah.
I mean, how many did you get there? That's 4.
I
So
got
6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to get. I don't think I could even do it with double ones.
Yeah.
Unless, yeah, I'd have to. Okay, what? This would be reason command. Well,
it's an opposed roll now, right?
Yeah, it's opposed.
yeah, it's an opposed. The only way this matters is if somebody assists me, which I don't feel I'm getting. So, here we go. Okay, that's that.
All right. So you make her feel pretty shitty about her decision.
Great.
But yeah, Tourist Quinn, who we have quickly met and is now being sent off to Cardassia to face their version of justice.
I definitely, like, as he's going out, him and Tanjat make that, like, eye contact and the silence and just, like, both kind of nod at each other.
Could Eversol
The-
make a question? Sorry.
Go ahead.
But to the prisoner before he leaves.
Yeah.
The whole thing is explained, the whole damage things as well, right?
Yeah.
So Eversol is going to be looking pale by this point after the whole trial. And he hurries over to touch the shoulder of the prisoner to very panically just ask him, please tell me that was not DMC. And if it was, where do you got it?
He's like, it was. The Maquis actually manufactured a lot of it before most of the cells were wiped out by the Dominion. But those of us who survived and went into hiding got the money to finish living our lives from selling it to several factions involved in the Dominion War, including the oh shit. What was the name of the bad guys in Star Trek Insurrection?
Oh gods. Oh. That was such a bad movie.
Romulus and Remans?
No, they were it was originally going to be
The
Romulans.
stupid like people who drain.
Oh,
like,
the skin job people.
yeah, the not the Baku. We're almost there. Right, but they sold a bunch of it to the Sona, who aligned themselves with the Dominion in the Dominion War after like attacking the Enterprise, and they used these chemical weapons a few times during the Dominion War, including Eversol on the planet that you first saw the effects of this gas.
He goes a little bit weak and isn't able to ask any more of the questions that he had after that, just by realizing that they were the producers of DMC.
Yeah, and they sold a bunch of it.
Yeah, Eversol just walks away, really, really pale.
Okay. Um. So I know, of course, they're the two main characters that have gotten the most screen time, but I really do feel like this should be a little quick final scene between the captain and Tanjat, unless anybody else has a suggestion.
I mean, just focus on other people next week, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been giving you all prompts for a reason.
I can't think of anything.
No?
I mean, my thought was, kind of closing scene. Tanjat knocks on the captain's door, and he's got like a nice bottle of, whatever, Borjoran whiskey or whatever.
Saurian brandy.
Saurian brandy. There we go, and a couple of glasses. And knocks on the door and kind of just holds those up.
I'll kind of narrow my eyes at you and just do a little bit half nod.
I'll kind of come in, sit down, not really saying anything. Pour a couple drinks, hand one over. Motion in a way that asks, hey, can I sit down?
I'll do another half nod.
Sit down, and then kind of just share a quiet drink with you, maybe.
Well, you sit down, and I'll sit down, and after a quick drink, I will go. I understand things happen in war, but there are lines. And I understand that and I see that you feel bad for what you did. But know that today was a fluke and a blessing that you made it out of there alive.
I think Tanjat just nods and
I had to make a full report to Starfleet. It was technically a breach of the Kinema Accords. Even if your knowledge was, even though you didn't know you were doing it. I don't know what they're going to do with this, but this is not the last you've heard of this situation.
I think Tanjat just nods.
And then I'll take one last drink and then say, and Commander, I hope in the future you will make better decisions and realize that others around you make mistakes too. And I'll down the drink, put it on the table, and then go, I have a duty roster to oversee. I do believe you need a few weeks off.
I think Tanjat will pick up his glass and his bottle and go wander to his quarters at this point.
All right. I think that's a good place to end.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. So we'll discuss the wins and opportunities of the flashback as a storytelling device in a role-playing game offline. This has been Star Trek Adventures. Game name is Pathfinder on the Kobold Cafe. I'm Colin. I've been the GM tonight. Joining us, we had Daniel.
Yes, I'm Daniel. I was Tessara. Gave it a shot.
You were also
Also Kori, which was fun.
Because you got to be the exact opposite of Starfleet.
Yeah.
and the first one in the party to get a player kill. All right.
Last.
We also had Everoth.
Hello, I was Moors and Eversol this round, this session. I hope you enjoyed it.
And Tara.
Hello, I played Captain Demore and the Exploding Woman.
Tom.
I played Tom. I'm Tom. I played Vivek, and Billy Zay, and it was fun. I got to I got to shoot a lot of things.
All right, and last but certainly not least, we had sort of the special guest star this episode, James.
Hey, I'm James, and we got a bit of a glimpse into Tanjat's dark past.
All right.
Probably, like, though that was probably the worst thing he ever did, it was probably not, like, the first time he did stuff like that, and probably not the last time.
All right, we are the Kobold Cafe. Oh, I should put on the stream ending
title,
thing.
right?
Yeah. So here we
Yeah.
go. So we are the Kobold Cafe. You can find us on social media. On Twitter, we're at Kobold Cafe. On Twitch, we're at twitch.tv/Kobold Cafe. We have a website, thekoboldcafe.com. That's where you can find all of the archives for this and several other games. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, join us next week. Depending on where you are in the world, it's what we call Kobold time. It's what, 8 o'clock on the East Coast, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. You can do the math from there. Thanks for watching. Everybody say goodnight.
Everybody say
Night.
goodnight.
You didn't know what to do with that,